The Chicago Bears have a ton of money to spend in free agency. And the question on the table today, should Bobby Okereke get a big chunk of that money? Let's talk about what he could bring to the Chicago Bears team and how he could impact play on the field right away. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, Bears, like I said, ton of money to spend here in free agency. Big names are on the table, and one of the biggest, right, is a name that is Bobby Okereke. He's a linebacker out of Indianapolis. He's been there just about all of his career. I think he was drafted there. Because Pat McAfee actually did the draft on him. I remember that one actually when he was talking about he was replaced by an orangutan. But I think here's the question on the table. Should the Chicago Bears commit the money that is going to have to be committed to get Bobby Okereke in the building? And here's the thing. The Colts want this guy, right? He's not a guy that they're trying to let go. He's not a guy that they're trying to move off of, right? Like, they would love to have him on the field next to Shaq Leonard. But the problem is, right, Shaq Leonard's making top linebacker money. And if you're going to pay Bobby Okereke, you're going to have to outbid a lot of teams that are interested in him. The Bears and Carolina have been two teams that have already been rumored to be interested in him because they feel like they fit his defense perfectly in this situation. And so you're looking at a situation now where you're going to be in a bidding war that could possibly make Bobby Okereke a top 10 paid linebacker. Now, the production is there. He's a guy that goes out there and makes a ton of plays, right? He had 98 tackles this season alone, played 17 games, 53 assisted tackles, 151 combined tackles this season, 6 tackles for loss. He was a solid player at that Mike position in that Colts defense. But I think here's the biggest part that you have to, that is the important part of all of this, right? The Colts want this guy, but they can't outbid for this guy. And that's where the Chicago Bears are an interesting team in this situation. One, because we already know that this guy believes in the hits principle. He's already talked about how great of a coach Coach Flus was when he was here. He talked about how he wouldn't mind playing for Coach Flus at some point again in the future, right? Trying to get that free agent market up. Good move by Bobby on that one. You know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, right, like, you're looking at a player here who is going to come out and make an impact on your team day one, play one, if you're the Chicago Bears. And so that's a real reason why you should want to throw that money his way. They're talking about $12 to $14 million basically, which would put him in top 10 linebacker money range, right? And you also have to look at it from the perspective of Roquan Smith, when he was here, wanted $20 million to play the same position. I don't know if Bobby Okereke gives you the same production that Roquan Smith maybe gives you in that system, right? But I also will say that Bobby Okereke is coming at much less of a premium. He's not coming here for $20+ million a year. So I think that, to me, right, you're getting a little bit of a discount, right? 12 to 14 million. You're getting a little bit of a discount depending on how the contract works out, how the language in the contract is, whether it's front loaded or back loaded, based on the player that you are going to play. You're still getting a really, really good player in the building. And I think that with all that coupled together, right, like, you have to, this is one that's a no-brainer for me to pull the trigger on. A guy that comes in and day one, play one, understands the system, can be a leader in this system, right, and gives you a little bit more depth at that linebacker position, or at least initially, right? Like, there's a lot that the Bears have going on here where you're looking at some of these linebackers. Like, I look at a guy like Nick Morrow, right? Like, I would love to have him back, but he's also going to have a little bit of a market just being solid. Hopefully the Bears can get a deal done with him before that 11 o'clock deadline does hit and all the legal tampering and all that mess starts. Hopefully the Bears are able to get something done here. But I think that you know, this is the first piece of a big step here. And you still have to get some defensive line help. You still absolutely have to get offensive line help, right? But you want to start checking off pieces, start checking off positions that you're not going to have to worry about. The other thing, by the way, I would love to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Should the Chicago Bears look to throw some big money at Bobby Okereke? Let me know in the comments below, man. And if you haven't done so, I need y'all go ahead and do me a favor out here, brother, because y'all be playing games with your boy, man. I need y'all go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button. Yeah, come on, push the button. You heard what she said.
You heard what Sue Young said. Push the button. Stop playing with your boy, man. Appreciate y'all for showing love to the channel. Here's the other thing for me, right? Like, when you talk about some of these guys that you're going out here and getting, right? Like, we've had conversations on different players and we're just like, this guy's a top-notch player, but he played 12 games here. He's played 13 games here. Bobby Okereke has been the epitome of consistent on the football field. He's only had one season in 2020 where he played 14 games. Outside of that, 16 games in 2019. That was a 16-game season still, I believe. 17 games in 2021, 17 games in 2022. The other thing, right, we always talk about, right, all these guys and the ability that they can go out there and, oh, he can do this, he can make this happen, he can make this play. These guys play a collision sport. And so it's the reason why I say your best ability is availability. If you can go out there and know that you're going to have a guy that's going to be consistent on the field, barring something major, right? But that he's going to be out there, he's going to show that he wants to be on the field on a consistent basis. That's a guy that you want to throw money at, as long as it comes along with the talent, as long as it comes along with the ability also on the field. And I think the other thing is too, right? When I'm looking at what Bobby Okereke can bring to this defense, again, the ability, but also stability. Y'all, stability. I had a stroke right there. Y'all saw that? I tried to make a connection. It didn't work out. Don't worry about that. The stability that he brings to this defense, right? The leadership that he's going to be able to bring to this defense, and the youth that is still attached to him. He's only 26 years old. Right. So you're still building this team, right? Young vets that are going to come in that have that already putting themselves in a position to be leaders for a long time on this team, guys that you don't mind paying long-term contracts to. Then you also build through the draft. You're bringing in youth. You're not sitting here bringing in 32-year-old veterans trying to say, OK, now you're a leader on the team, right? You're bringing in guys that are going to be able to grow with this team and still connect with the players that are on this team, right? You got a lot of young DBs, but Bears led the NFL in young players starting, first and second year players starting last year on snaps. It was over 1,000 snaps, but I believe it was 1,000 snaps more than the next closest team on young players starting last season, right? So you have to go out there now and make this connection of your star player that you're trying to bring in and attach that with the players that you have on the team. And that's going to be on both sides. Listen, your tackles and offensive linemen are usually leaders on your team, right? They're usually guys that speak up. Defensive linemen, same thing. So you're bringing in guys that you're hoping are going to be potential leaders here. I think Bobby Okereke fits the bill of that. And hopefully the Bears are able to get this one done. This would be a deal that I would love to see the Bears get finished. And I think it will bring a lot of teeth to our defense. Now, you still got to go out there and get some defensive linemen. The Bears still have a ton of holes to plug, right? But this would be one where I would feel like you got him at a perfectly set price and you got great production out of him. I do want to know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. Let me know. What would you do? Would you sign Bobby Okereke? How long would you sign him? What type of contract are you guys looking for, man? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Yeah, stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.